What's up, friends and fam? This is your girl Cam Reeds, and today I want to talk to you about the end of this year. So we are at the end of 2019, which is not only the end of this year, but it's the end of a decade. And so as we prepare to go into 2020, I found it important or necessary for me to create this video and really talk about reflecting on not only this past year, but this past decade. This past year for me, and I know like many others, has been a year of challenges, of doing a lot of shadow work, facing a lot of, or should I say uncovering or remembering a lot of aspects of myself that maybe I wasn't particularly happy with, a lot of pain that maybe I had buried and didn't want to deal with. And so this year has been about a lot of growth and fighting through to get to where you want to go. And in 2020, it's going to be all about manifesting. And so as we go through that as individuals and as part of the larger collective consciousness, sometimes it's easy to feel overwhelmed. It's easy to feel like we're losing our way. For me personally, I felt like I was coming completely undone. I felt like I was going to unravel at any second and just break open and spill all over the place because I felt like I was a hot mess. But I know that it's necessary. And even though I felt like a hot mess, I knew that work that was being done, the healing, the going forward, the going through, the feeling depressed, the feeling down, the self-doubt, challenging those self-doubts, those limited beliefs, was only going to be for my highest good. So as we come to the close of this year, my words, what I would encourage you to do is to really reflect on your personal growth, right? Who were you at the beginning of the year, and are you that same person now? Are there skills or things that you have added onto yourself this year that you didn't have in years past? Who were you in the beginning of this decade? And who are you now? What have you learned? What have you gained from your experiences? And as you think about those things and you ruminate on all these different pieces of who you are, who you've been, I want you to think about what it is that you want in this next decade, right? So from 2020 to 2029, what is it that you want to give? How is it that you want to serve? What is it that you want to gain from it? And I want you to be very clear about what it is that you want. I want you to be clear in your intentions, because when you put that intention out there, the universe is going to respond. And the more clear you are, the faster it can respond, and the closer you are going to be to getting what it is that you actually want in a shorter amount of time. Okay? So be very clear on that. Think about how do you envision your life, right? When you envision your best life, because we have many past lives, but in the space that we're in right now, in this conscious that you're in, this is your life, and you may not remember it the next go around, or you may go head on and spiritually elevate yourself and pass forward to that next phase of our evolution. Anyway, bringing it back to the point, go ahead and envision what it is that you truly want in this next decade. What do you want to create? What do you want to leave? What do you want to build upon? What are some things that you don't want to take into this next decade that you want to get rid of? What are some things that you want to work on personally, otherwise, in your relationships, as far as your finance, as far as your spirit? And so think about those things. And when you think about those things, I want you to write them down, right? And I want you to set yourself some mini goals, because the year's going to start and we all going to have these New Year's resolutions. We all going to get up and say, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be this person. I'm not going to do these things. And then somewhere about February, maybe even March, you're going to be like, you know what? It's cool. I'm going to go ahead on and do it next year. Don't do it next year, right? Don't go ahead and put it off to 2021. Be clear about what you want this year. Set the intention, set the goals, and set mini markers for yourself. So, for example, one of the things I'm going to learn next year is I am not a strong swimmer, which is scary to me because we live on a planet that is 70% water. I live in a body that is 70% water. I should probably be comfortable in water. So one of my goals next year is I am going to learn to swim. I am going to be a strong swimmer to the point that not only can I save myself, but I can save others. Okay, so think about those things. Another thing I'm going to do is I want to learn how to speak a second language. There are so many new places that I haven't been on this planet. There are so many different languages, different cultures, different people. And if I can speak another language, then that gives me the opportunity to meet more people, right? To influence more people, to be a part of their circles, for them to be a part of my circles. And so that is another one of my goals for next year. So I advise you and I encourage you to think about those things as it relates to you specifically. And when you do that, like I said, share with someone that you trust. Share with someone that's going to hold you accountable. Get yourself an accountability buddy. And what that is somebody that you say, hey, listen, these are the things that I want this year without fail. And I want you to check in on me, and I want you to check up on me, and I want you to say, hey, on this day you call me and say, did you do this? Did you hit this goal? Are you working towards it? What stopped you? What do you need to do? What do you need to change? How do you need to change it? Right? And so go ahead and do those things to help you hit your goals and empower you. So that is my message for today. As always, y'all, this is going to reach somebody. I know it. So if it reaches you, I'm glad it did. Until next time, y'all, I'm wishing you nothing but peace, love, happiness, and prosperity. Until next time, y'all, as always, be blessed.